The concept of the devil wanting to keep Christians poor is rooted in the idea that spiritual warfare is a real and ongoing battle between good and evil. According to the Bible, the devil, also known as Satan, is a fallen angel who seeks to oppose God's plan and will for humanity. One of the primary ways he achieves this is by manipulating and deceiving people, including Christians, into living in poverty and lack. The devil's strategy is multifaceted, but one of his primary goals is to keep Christians in a state of financial bondage. By doing so, he is able to limit their ability to fulfill their God-given destinies and purposes. When Christians are struggling to make ends meet, they are often distracted from their spiritual pursuits and are less likely to be able to generously give to others, support missions, and invest in kingdom-building activities. The devil knows that a financially strapped Christian is a less effective Christian, and he will stop at nothing to keep them in a state of financial lack. One of the ways the devil keeps Christians poor is by filling their minds with negative and limiting thoughts about money. He whispers lies such as "you'll never be able to afford that," "you're not worthy of financial blessing," "all money is evil." These thoughts can become deeply ingrained in a person's mind, causing them to live in a state of fear and anxiety when it comes to their finances. As a result, they may be hesitant to take risks, invest in their future, or trust God for financial provision. Another way the devil keeps Christians poor is by tempting them to indulge in unhealthy financial habits. He may encourage them to overspend, accumulate debt, or prioritize material possessions over spiritual pursuits. When Christians give in to these temptations, they can quickly find themselves in a financial hole, struggling to make ends meet and feeling weighed down by the burden of debt. The devil takes pleasure in seeing Christians in this state, knowing that it will distract them from their relationship with God and limit their ability to live out their faith. The Bible is clear that God wants his people to prosper and live in financial freedom. In 3 John 1:2, the Apostle John writes, "Dear friend, I pray that you may enjoy good health and that all may go well with you, even as your soul is getting along well." This verse indicates that God's desire is for his people to experience financial blessing and prosperity, not just spiritual blessing. However, the devil seeks to thwart this plan by keeping Christians in a state of poverty and lack. So, how can Christians overcome the devil's plan to keep them poor? First, they must recognize the spiritual battle that is taking place and acknowledge that the devil is a real and present enemy. They must then choose to trust in God's provision and promises, rather than giving into fear and anxiety. The Bible is filled with promises of financial blessing and prosperity, and Christians must choose to stand on these promises, even when circumstances seem bleak. Additionally, Christians must be intentional about managing their finances in a way that honors God. This includes creating a budget, living below their means, and prioritizing giving and generosity. By doing so, they can break free from the cycle of poverty and lack, and experience the financial freedom that God desires for them. Ultimately, the devil's plan to keep Christians poor can be overcome by trusting in God's goodness, standing on his promises, and living a life of financial stewardship and integrity. As Christians, we must be aware of the devil's schemes and choose to trust in God's plan for our lives, which includes financial freedom and prosperity.